Hey everyone, welcome to the first meeting of this new week at an open door. This is Cindy. It is April 7th, and this is the meeting we call Where the Rubber Meets the Road, where we take an idea from the Course in Miracles and we have a conversation about how we get to use it or how it can be used in our walking around space and what Richard keeps reminding us is a dream. Um, and the focus today is on the instructions or the introduction to Review 6. And the way I am inspired to begin this is to read some of the first paragraph and then play our song and then talk about things for just a few minutes and open it up. So, review number 6 reads, for this review, we take but one idea each day and practice it as often as is possible, Besides the time you give morning and evening, which should not be less than 15 minutes, and the hourly remembrances you make throughout the day, use the idea as often as you can between them. Each of these ideas alone would be sufficient. Each of these ideas alone would be sufficient for salvation if it were learned truly. Each would be enough to give release to you and to the world from every form of bondage and invite the memory of God to come again. And the specific idea I've been sitting with is the I Want a Piece of God, and today's song, which I'm going to attempt to keep in the recording, comes from that one idea. So let's spend a few minutes on the peace train or the love train. It's the love train, so it's sort of kind of I but let's do this.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, turnaround arts, people all over the world, brothers, sisters, round the planet. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on now.
All right. That was fun. Oh, train, peace train. For this review, we take but one idea each day and practice it as often as is possible. Besides the time you give morning and evening, which should not be less than 15 minutes, and the hourly remembrances you make throughout the day, use the idea as often as you can. And this is the part that I'm sitting in. Use the idea as often as you can between them. Each of these ideas alone would be sufficient for salvation if it were learned truly. Each would be enough to give release to you and to the world from every form of bondage and invite the memory of God to come again. More and more, I am where I am right now is aware of of the disconnect. This is the way I'd like to put it. The disconnect between what I, as a separate being, having the Cindy experience, whatever you want to call it. Cindy's real. Cindy's real. I don't know what she is, but she's real and she has experiences. It's the disconnect between where I am surrendered and where this sense of being attacked by the world still feels real. And sometimes it feels like big things, and sometimes it feels like little things. But what am I not willing to practice with? Yes, it's the way it's coming. And here's the right now experience. And it's a beautiful practice, right? Got a message from my sister. My niece is getting married in September, and there is a real limit on how many people she can invite, right? And my daughter she lives 11 hours from me. I don't get to see her that often. She's my niece's first cousin, and she's in a very serious relationship, though they are quote unquote not engaged and not living together. There's a on the fence as to whether or not he's being invited. It looks like he's probably not being invited. And and the message came through, like, it's an interesting thing. I am discovering heart pain, like this idea that Sammy wants to invite him, but probably can't. There is a desire for my sister. I can feel it. They want me to say it's okay that he's not invited. And there's something here that doesn't want to say that. And probably from a selfish view, it's because I only got to meet him once and they've been together for years and I want to see him. And how selfish of me to want to do you understand like what's going on? Like they want me to say it's okay that he's not invited. For the record, I don't think my daughter doesn't care that much one way or another. My other daughter would probably prefer him not being invited. And the current guidance is to be with what I just said to my sister, who is to admit that my heart hurts at the idea that he's not invited, and I understand whatever happens next and I'll use it. So, how willing am I to practice with this without judging myself or another? To understand that this is just, in Michael Singer's words, a sanskara that has lit up, because that's what this is. Like, man, as soon as I saw what happened, the amount of pain that's here is so far out of logic that I know it's a sanskara, right? It really doesn't, like, whatever will happen in the real world. It has nothing to do with how much is loved and what people want to do. And yet this feeling of pain is real. And am I willing to practice like continuously, with the understanding that all I want is the peace of God. This is what's coming up right now, is something that seems to suggest that the world is real and can attack me. Like, it's amazing. Well, my family's not as important as my other sister's family, because Shayna's boyfriend is being invited. And so, like, literally, I could see the invitation to go there, which is so interesting. Um, I am choosing to confess, and I am choosing to recognize that this entire experience is a gift that the universe has handed me on a platter for no other. And it's so gentle, right? I didn't invite, this is just a texting with my sister. And yesterday we were having the same experience. Like, she was like, we're using it to practice. We're using it to practice. And I know that she wants me to take her off the hook. And but that's not what this is about. This is about being very still with this until it dissolves. The world I see holds nothing that I want. Beyond the world, there is a world that I want. I can't be in two worlds at once. This pain is an indicator of something in my system that's still that is radiating this sense that there's something, the world has to be a certain way to keep me safe. I don't even know what it is right now. It's that new. But anyway, I'm just saying it out loud. I am choosing to practice continuously the truth with this, holding this pain, not attempting to do anything in the world to abate this pain, if that makes sense, but just to be with it, and to trust that it was a gift, that everything that's happening in the world is a gift. And this review lesson is so perfectly attuned to this sense of, what is it that I am not willing to practice with? Or where am I separating the dream character from the practice, is one way of putting it, right? Like, what am I not willing to be with in this work? And that's what I wanted to put out here. And now I'm just waiting for Andrew to raise his hand, and he hasn't yet, which is feeling pretty squirrely here. William's going to be first. Andrew, you're not first. Hey, William.
I just have such a feeling of love around you. You are so open and willing to just say and speak and speak and speak in the moment. And I just, I don't have to say those words. You're saying them for me. You're saying them for everybody. It's just, and it's all right now, right now, right now. That's what I'm feeling. So I just wanted to give you a great big hug and just consider it done.
Receiving. And thank you. And it's all perfect. Yeah. Hey, Andrew.
Hello, Cindy. I don't know how to advise you on your personal situation. What I thought about when you emailed the what we were going to discuss was about how, if you perfect one of these lessons, understand it perfectly, it's enough for salvation for you and the world. And the end the world part is what I find a little confusing. I think this concept is something that is beyond human comprehension, beyond the ego's comprehension. I mean, certainly Jesus learned all these lessons perfectly, and yet here we are with all our egos in this world, seeming to be separate beings. Others too, Buddha probably, and other teachers have learned the lessons. So there's got to be something that we just can't understand as egos. Certainly, the Course tells us that we're all from the Christ mind. All of us are one with God, one with Christ, with the Holy Spirit, with each other. But every ego seems to be independent, and I think as we progress, as time goes by and we progress, we are changing the world. You know, the Course says that a miracle affects people that you don't even know. When you offer a miracle to someone, it affects people in other parts of the world that we never met. You try to imagine, you know, the world seems to have, I mean, it certainly does have its trials and tribulations. There's war and there's genocide in countries. There's a lot of things that you could look at and say, well, that's not good. But so we don't know how we're affecting it, but things could be a whole lot worse. Our practicing and the practicing of everyone who has some deep spiritual practice is probably influencing the world and making it a better place. We just don't, we take it for granted because we're living, you know, in a place where life is pretty darn good compared to other places. But yeah, I think this is just a hard concept to understand. And what we could do is keep working at it. That's my comment. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening.
And as I was listening to you, and as I was sitting with one of my sister's response, which was that she's sorry that my heart hurts. And in all honesty, in this moment right now, I must confess that I am not sorry that my heart hurts. I see Sandra smiles, so perhaps she understands. There is a understanding that we're going through something. And as a student of the guides, especially now, they've communicated this well for me. In order for us to have our world transformed, we must be willing to be present to it, to see it, and even feel it. We can't suppress it. Or now I got Michael Singer in my head. I love all the different teachers. We can't justify it. The ability to allow it to come up and be with it and experience it and surrender it and to is part of the practice. So I'm actually pretty much in awe that a few words on a phone that I read in between dyads this morning created a intense contraction in my heart, and that I am conscious enough to recognize that the world provided an opportunity to activate something that's here that that can now be held and seen and transformed. And then to come into this meeting where the focus of this meeting, which happened not because this occurred, it's not really a big deal. It's not really a big deal. It's just an opportunity to hold the samskara, blockage, and to allow God to do something with it. or the Holy Spirit, whatever word I want to use, by practicing continuously. Brother Lawrence practicing the presence. Joel Goldsmith says keep practicing. Course in Miracles in the review lesson says not just in the morning, not just in the morning and night, not just once an hour, but every time you notice. Right? That's what this review lesson says, is take everything to the borderland, essentially. Now I got that borderland. Every time I hear that word borderland, it's Rana that I come to, because Rana taught me about the borderland. So I'm not sorry this is happening, by the way. I'm embracing it. I'm being present with it. I'm curious to see what will happen next. And man, that got a lot of hands up. Hey, Josephine.
This is a wow for me, a real teaching moment, and I want to thank you for it, Cindy. My reading of the Course in Miracles, of course, which I adore, I take in very intellectually and have never really understood how you put it in practice, because putting it in practice for me meant when momentous moments in my life occurred, then I draw on the teachings of the Course in Miracles. What you're teaching me today, Cindy, is that the application has to be every single moment of your waking life, which is, if you get a phone call, that means you have to make a judgment about something, or you have to make a decision, whether it's what restaurant to go to with your friend or whatever. There is an ability that is an offering for you to practice and to apply the teachings of the Course. And this for me is a big moment, because it takes it from the intellectual realm to the practice, the actual practice, which is the whole point of the Course. You practice the teaching and it will change your life. So, Cindy, thank you. Thank you for talking about something so basic, so that happens every day in one's dealings with people. Every little decision is an important opportunity to practice your learning. So thank you, thank you. This is big for me.
Thank you. Richard.
Morning, everyone. I love you all. I hope you're having a great Monday. With regard to the lesson, I think somewhere in the Course it says, if you but understood one sentence in this book, truly, you will have salvation, let alone every lesson. My belief is the way you heal the world is, but there's only one mind. So when your mind is healed, all minds are healed. Now, that doesn't mean within the dream, every separate mind will be ready to accept the healing you gave it. They may not be at a level yet of a mind where they're ready to accept or willing to accept a healing in that regard. So they may continue to act, as the Course says, in a way that might be perceived as wrong-minded. But every little chip they get, when someone heals their mind, there's a chip that happens, and it opens the mind of everyone some way, somehow. It may be not small enough, maybe so small it will not manifest in that person's dream, but it is there nonetheless. So that's my understanding of it. With regard to what you shared with us this morning, I have been the boyfriend for over 30 years. So I've lived the experience of the boyfriend. And I remember for the first 15 years, our relationship wasn't a problem. Then her younger sister remarried. And I perceived that her new husband who was new to the family, was more accepted by the family than I was, because he was a husband. I was only a boyfriend. So, and I had to, that was a great lesson for me. Again, another lesson to just be the love. I don't worry about, I know they all love me, but I'm still just a boyfriend, you know? So I found the story very interesting. And well, I'm not going to say that. I love you all.
Anybody else want to know what he doesn't want to say? Because this ego mind wants to know. I want to read what I read in the beginning, Richard, just this section, and you'll let me know if this is the part of the course you were referring to, because here's part of the first paragraph of review 6, the introduction. Each of these ideas alone would be sufficient for salvation if it were learned truly. Each would be enough to give release to you and to the world from every form of bondage and invite the memory of God to come again. William.
Now that I got the hug out of the way, I just am reminded awareness and presence. And I was hugging nothing. You got a hug from nothing. I just love that more and more. The nothingness about the space. And actually, I am that space now, often more and more. And that's what I'm seeing. And I've been absorbing Cat and Bob the Sailor. And someone said, they went up to him and just said, "Oh, I'm going to miss you going back to Australia. You've been so meaningful here." And Bob just looks at him and said, "Do you need it?" Like, there's nothing. There's no one here. What are you talking about? You don't need anything. It's just that presence and awareness. And that's what I get every time I think Bob, I look at Bob, something in here goes tilt. Just now. One, not two. It's so resonating. So again, the hug was there. The me, you was there. And the truth that was holding it all. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you, William. Sandra's got her hand up.
Hello. So when you were telling us your story from this morning, I just had this beautiful feeling, and the words came along with the feeling you were saying when you had a contraction. And I thought, maybe what we think are contractions, where we label these things contractions, are really expansions. Because what we're calling something a contraction, I guess it has a negative connotation in a way, but anyway, what if it's just an experience that's a portal to a new way of being? And what is that new way of being? In this lesson, he talks about each idea alone would be sufficient for salvation. And I was thinking, what is salvation? And then he goes on to say it's freedom from bondage and an opportunity to invite the memory of God. Like we're trying in each moment, as Josephine said so eloquently, each moment of every day. I remember back, I used to take management courses, and one course was in something called total quality management. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it, it's old, but they used to say, walk the talk, walk the talk. And that's what I think the rubber meets the road is about too. It's like this, each of these experiences viewed from the witness, viewed from a place of consciousness that we all have access to, is just another welcoming of this experience to open my eyes to access this place of peace that passes all understanding. And I like the way the rest of the introduction talked about a deep relinquishment of everything that clutters the mind and makes it deaf to reason, sanity, and simple truth. It's like there's this simple truth that opens up when we allow ourselves to fully experience the moment and see it for what it is, what it truly is. So I'm letting go of the word contraction now for myself and saying, well, you mentioned the word gift. Here's another opportunity, another invitation. I like the word invitation. And I also am feeling very I love the way you're so honest. I mean, William mentioned that too. It's that honesty. I'm willing to be gentle and honest with myself and patient with myself from this mind of Christ that we're supposed to put on the mind of Christ. I'm very gentle with myself, which makes me gentle with others. So what did it say also? Release. Let go. Release and let go. And as I do this, another thought that comes in is, it is changing the world. It is changing the world, John. I believe that with all of my heart. I actually know it because, well, scientifically, it's the quantum entanglement. But just knowing that every time I walk around vibrating peace and love, I'm changing the world around me. And there's something about all of us in this room together changing the world that emanates. And I trust that, even if my eyes, I don't really trust what the ego eyes sees so much anymore. The ego eyes wants to say, no, nothing's changing. Look at the world. But I'm not trusting that as much as I'm trusting the truth as it is given to me in little teaspoonfuls at a time. Millimeter by millimeter. I'm not even going to say inch by inch. It's just like little teaspoons. And I feel like when I take that invitation, oh, here comes that feeling. here comes that emotion. When I take that invitation and there is like this holy place, this divine wisdom that gives me another little teaspoonful of truth. So thank you for listening to me, everybody.
And just for the record, when I use the word contraction, there's no sense of negativity around it. It's actually a description of a physical event. Like I literally feel something right here close, and there's a sensation of pain. I'm describing a physical thing, and then I sink right into what I learned from Michael Singer, to not use any kind of mind justification to change it, but just to hold it, and the net result experientially has been an expansion, because the way Michael describes it is when these things happen, it's like it's a sanskara, which to me, I call it a kidney stone in the heart. That's the way I see it, literally is coming up. And when you do not try to justify it or sink it down, but hold it the way we're talking about, that kidney stone dissolves, and there is room for more expansion. So that's my experience of what goes on, if that makes
Yes,
sense.
yes, it does. And when I was speaking to this one.
Yep.
Because when it came up, it was something that I learned for myself, not to make a contraction a negative.
Yeah.
And so that happens a lot when other people are speaking. It's like, oh, I get how this relates to how I'm reacting. So,
Very
and
cool.
I did love that you say you were glad you felt it. I watched this really cute movie yesterday called My Penguin Friend. I don't. It was really cute, and it was. I wouldn't go out and say it's the best movie I've ever seen. So, but it's really, if you like a nice PG, cute movie. And in the end, as the main character was burying something, he said, "I feel sad," and then he said, "And I'm happy I feel sad." Okay, I've talked enough. Bye, everybody.
Hey, David.
Hey, what comes to mind when we were talking about this is and your story, and of course I have no idea how you think about things. I mean, deep inside you, I hear what you have to say, but knowing is I can't really know. But what I was feeling is and can relate to that is, well, first of all, I'm going to tell a story. My wife Betty, we were at church yesterday, and she was helping with they call it with the children, and they changed the name of it from Children's Church to Youth Sangha, which I really love. And anyway, they were making they all these little kids, and they were making scrambled eggs. And as you can imagine, 10 little kids making scrambled eggs. It was like wonderful chaos, because I was sitting out there in the area where they were, and Betty says, everything had happened. They broke an egg, and it was so exciting that they broke the egg, and then they get to feel what the egg felt like, because they'd never done that before. And so it was, everything was so new and so exciting and wonderful. And I had a big sneezing episode, and they go, "Oh, is he all right? What happened? Why is that man making those funny sounds?" And so that was a new thing, because maybe they'd never heard somebody have a chain stroke sneezing attack, but I did. And so, but anyway, what kept, after that long start of the story is it seems like when I get down, and like when I was down, like last month, or when I was having my major depression, it takes it's so hard to climb out of that. And what I think I experience is growing pains. I call them growing pains. At least that's what I call them today. And and it's so different than when little kids do something. It may be the first time, so they don't have to unlearn anything to learn something. But I had to unlearn that, whatever that I was thinking about or owning in that depressed state I was in. I had to unlearn that to climb out of it to get okay. And so to me that's what I describe as growing pains. And so, but I learned, I saw that I was in the depression. I understood the depression. I kind of figured out what the depression was all about. And then, but it was hard to look at that stuff, because I think in most of my life, I just didn't want to look at it. I just tried to live with it and hope it went away. But looking at it and then growing out of it to be in the light and be in the sunshine and be okay, I had to experience growing pains. And I think that's a really great experience. It's not much fun, but it is a great, but it is a great experience to learn how I got there, what it's all about, and then how to to go up, to climb out of it. And so that's what I have to say today, and I hope it makes sense to anybody. It made sense to me when I said it.
Makes sense here too. Thank you, David. Amy, seeing your purple A, but not your beautiful face.
I hope you can hear me.
Can hear you.
Okay, we don't have any internet, so I'm on my phone. Thank God. I'm so glad I can join. This is a great conversation. And everyone has given really good insights, I think. So my input, for what it's worth, is really to draw on what everyone has said, and then maybe add one other piece that seems to work for me sometimes. And so if oneness is true, and it is true, and if it is absolutely true, and that's what salvation is, then I should be able to put myself in the other person's place and at least get a glimmer of what they might be feeling. And I have done that. I'm practicing doing that. And I find that combined with doing what you did, Cindy, which is really allowing your feelings to come up and letting them touch you, not diving into them and going down the rabbit hole, but just watching them. Then that's one half of it for me. But the other half is to actually put myself into the position of the person who I am pointing the finger at, in terms of, oh, they're the ones that are eliciting this feeling for me. Because if everything is one, I should be able to really see it from their perspective. And a lot of times I find if the contraction is still there after I've done my work, then I try and look at it from their perspective without judging whether it's right or wrong, just looking at it from their perspective. And sometimes that really completes the circle for me. So I'm just offering that as an experience to share. Thank you.
I have a comment based on the Cindy story to that, Amy, so don't go too far, right? And so here's the comment. A big part of the Cindy story is finding herself in this impossible circumstance of knowing that no matter what I do, it'll be wrong. So, for instance, there is quite a few others in this particular story. You know, there's my sister who literally just wants to make everybody happy. There's my niece who I adore, who is in this overwhelming circumstance of trying to figure out how to do the right thing. And then there's my daughter, and there's Will, and how they might feel if Will is whatever. And there is this, I always say this is my part of my codependency, that's this desire to make everybody happy, and knowing that that is A, not my job, and B, from the current point of view, is impossible, right? Is part of what is blowing up inside this knowing that there's something that Cindy's not seeing. So I love that you brought that up, because it's part of, um, I don't know, it's part of what's going on here, actually.
Yeah. I'm going to do a Cindy on you. Oh, you're such a sweetie pie. Whatever I do, it will be wrong. I want to hand that back to you
Yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and ask you if that's true.
Well, that's what I'm working on from it with the compassionate inquiry. So I love that it's coming up, this sense of being wrong. So I'm allowing the energy of that to come up while holding it, knowing that it's not true,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
So
it's part of what's here to be healed. Yeah.
to be healed. So, is there anything you can do?
Oh, right now I'm doing my Michael
Yeah.
Singer's best of allowing the sanskara to dissolve in a peaceful presence. There's nothing that needs to be done in the world. Yeah, but hold it and talk about it and know that it's not true.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
all
But I
good.
mean, even in the story.
Oh, well, in the story, I already had, I told, see, the funny part about this story is I told Sarah like 2 months ago that I thought the numbers were going to be screwy and there's a good chance Will wasn't going to be invited. And she's fine with it. And I told my sister that my heart hurts, but I love everybody and I trust. So I've already done everything in the story. This is literally all about letting this unfold. Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Well, it's a great story. And
It's a great opportunity, right?
yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
I
Um,
love us so much.
Me too. Glad to be here.
I knew, I was going to call Rana out if her hand wasn't raised, so I'm glad to see that her hand is raised.
Hello, everyone. I was just taking it all in. And what I'll say is the name of this program, Where the Rubber Meets the Road, has been so well expressed today. You know, each of us has shown how we put this into practice and how we contemplate it and what it means for each of us. And I just think it's been a great example of what this meeting invites us to do. And I was so excited when Josephine shared. I'm so happy that you heard that, Josephine, because that's made so much difference for me as well. You know, in the reading, it points to the memory of God to come again, which means that it hasn't gone anywhere, you know? And so there was a saying, where's God in all this? It's like, well, you're the one that moved, right? My thinking has been taken away from the memory. And so again, it's that word that comes up a lot here is the remembering, pointing to that I'm not this body, but what am I? And remembering the truth about what I am, and not doing any, I'm not doing it wrong if I get it caught up in some of these thoughts. It's, this says that one idea to carry with me today can be a simple pointer to bring me back to that remembering focus. And like Sandra, I love the sentence, a deep relinquishing of everything that clutters the mind. You know, I've been sitting with the statement crafted from the Sailor Bob talk. For me, it's all is well unless I think about it, you know? And so in any moment, I can use what is going on in the world, a conversation, a phone call, whatever. And if I'm not at peace, you know, there's a clear indicator there that maybe there's something that I could look at. And not being at peace is not being wrong either anymore. It's just a signal. You know, it's a signal that maybe I've gotten out of alignment and forgotten who I truly am for a moment, maybe got caught up in the drama of things, which is again not wrong for this one. You know, I continue to remind the self that it is not wrong. This is the experience I get to have, you know, but when there's a strong reaction or I notice a selfish edge to something, like what's my motive here? And hearing those thoughts, I can look at those and then do some inquiry on them. And you know, the second page, it gives us a practice right there. It says, close our eyes, forget all that we thought we knew and understood. And David pointed to that, you know, it's like whenever I think I know something, you know, there's the signal. Drop back into the I don't know mind. I don't know what this is for. I don't know what's going on. And what that does is open this one's heart to allow a new perception to come in that moment. And what's most important is to realize that what's going on in the world is really just the little signal. It's the healing part that I'm willing to pause and look at that. You know, it's not, oh, I'll look at that later. Oh, I'll just like make a note and maybe I'll contemplate. It's like, no, just in that moment, it really just takes a nanosecond to just pause and remember, you know. And it goes on to say that we can challenge these thoughts and let go of them in exchange for this idea that we're carrying around today. And then Richard just put it there, you know, just be, you know, after I've looked at all this and in the 30 seconds or so, just like be and be like, and like I can proceed from there in such a better space. You know, the energy around it is better, better decisions are made. I can use discernment instead of thinking I have to make a decision. That's been so helpful lately. You know, I don't have to make a decision. I can pause and ask for discernment about what to do next. And 9 times out of 10, it's like, do nothing right now. Nothing. You know, and I'm just so grateful for that I don't feel an urgency anymore to respond to everything in my life all the time like it's a damn emergency. So that feels so good. And I just want to point to, you know, this whole review is around the idea, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And when I very first began with these teachings, you know, that lesson was kind of prevalent in the things that I was listening to, and I clung onto that. And I realized today that it was not perhaps for the best motive. Right? I wanted to teach my daughter that. I wanted it to release disability from what I saw in the world, right? But that's okay. Who cares how we get hooked in, right? That was like the jumping off place. And so today I just feel so grateful for that pointing. She still says it. I heard her say it last night while her dad was changing her. She uses that pointing to center herself when her body is doing all kinds of things. And whatever that means for her, who cares? You know, it's just what it is. You know, it's a remembering. It doesn't matter what the words are. It's beyond the words. It's just the remembering. So for whatever reason, I'm feeling super excited right now. And it's just a joy to be with you. And this makes living so much better. Thank you.
Thank you. You know what else makes living so awesome? Like Williams raised his hand like 4 times today. And is that not the coolest friggin' thing ever?
Okay, I just stop pretending to be who you are or not. Stop refusing to be who you are. Pause. God is present. So many little statements that I've heard you, Cindy, say as reminders, and I love it. There's no me, there's no you. I love the name of that book. I had to get up bright and early this morning at 3 a.m. to find it again. No me, no you. No me, no you. It's just so simple. My God. I just wake up, open my, is that just be the space of not knowing. I have no inkling of what the next thought's going to be. And just being relaxed, being all the things we've heard Michael Singer, just relax and be. There's nothing to change, nothing to do, nothing to do. No, come on, just be. How do I do that? See, that's so silly to even, it's just another thought, another question, another thought. It's just awareness, but being present with the awareness. And there's nothing to figure out. I mean, that's okay. I can do that too. What's wrong with it right now? If I'm figured out, nothing wrong. See, the magic word to me is wrong. That's my core belief. It's like when I sink down, that's what catches me at the bottom of the pit. Oh, I made that up. I always go back to what I did wrong. And now the freedom. There ain't nothing wrong. These words, I love it. I love not listening. At times I go like this. I love it. You all are singing a nice harmony. I don't know who well, we're all conductors. It's this space we're all singing. And every now and then we stop long enough to enjoy the music that we're already creating. It's been created for us. It's always there, always there. And we're like magicians. We get caught up. I do. It's okay. It's just a nice space. And there's nothing in it. No me, no you. Thanks. Poof.
Yeah. All righty. That's been 61 minutes, which is awesome. For anyone who's interested, we are getting together at 3 o'clock to listen to the guides here around 3 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to stop the recording. We meet again at 10 a.m. tomorrow for Training Wheels. And David is asked to listen to a song within whoever wants to hang out and hear a song. But first, I'm going to stop the recording. Love us.